Kindness is often celebrated as one of the greatest virtues, a beacon of hope and compassion in our complex world. Yet, like a double-edged sword, it possesses the power to uplift and to undermine, depending on how we wield it. The ancient Stoics teach us that true kindness should be rooted in self-awareness and self-care. It is essential to understand that kindness should not come at the expense of our own well-being. While it feels noble to extend ourselves for others, we must first ensure that our own emotional and physical gardens are flourishing. This means recognizing our limits and maintaining a balance that protects our energy and spirit. When we fail to do so, we risk falling into the trap of self-sacrifice, where our generosity becomes a source of personal suffering. In this exploration, we'll delve into the delicate interplay between kindness and self-preservation, drawing insights from Stoic philosophy to guide our journey towards a more sustainable and fulfilling expression of kindness in our lives. In our pursuit of kindness, it's crucial to recognize the potential dangers of overextending ourselves. The saying, "Don't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm," encapsulates this sentiment perfectly. It serves as a warning that excessive kindness can lead to personal depletion and burnout. When we pour all our energy into helping others without considering our own needs, we risk sacrificing our well-being. This is where the wisdom of Stoic philosophy comes into play. Stoicism teaches us that we must care for ourselves before we can effectively support others. Think of it like a gardener tending to their plants. If they neglect their own garden while trying to cultivate others, they will eventually find their own flowers wilting. The act of kindness should never come at the cost of our own health and happiness. It's essential to reflect on our limits and recognize that sustainable kindness is rooted in a balance between giving and self-care. By understanding where to draw the line, we can ensure that our kindness is both meaningful and enduring, enriching our lives and the lives of those we seek to help. Imagine two gardeners, each with their own patch of land. One gardener pours every ounce of energy into cultivating their own garden, nurturing the soil, planting seeds, and watering daily. Over time, this gardener's efforts yield a vibrant, flourishing paradise, filled with colorful flowers and bountiful fruits. In contrast, the second gardener dedicates their time to helping others, often neglecting their own patch. They offer advice, share resources, and lend a hand tirelessly, but they forget to tend to their own garden. As months pass, the second gardener's plot becomes overrun with weeds, and their plants wither due to lack of attention. The lesson here is profound. When you prioritize the needs of others above your own, you risk your own well-being. Stoicism teaches us that self-care is not selfish, it is essential. By nurturing our own gardens first, we build resilience, enabling us to support others without losing ourselves in the process. Remember, a flourishing garden can inspire and uplift others, while a neglected one only drains our energy and spirit. Understanding the distinction between sustainable kindness and self-sacrifice is crucial for our well-being. Kindness should be a source of joy, not a burden. To foster healthy relationships, we must recognize our limits. Reflect on your own life. Have you ever felt drained or overwhelmed while trying to help others? This often occurs when we neglect our own needs in favor of being kind. Ask yourself, am I truly being kind, or am I merely seeking approval or avoiding conflict? Sustainable kindness means prioritizing yourself while also being supportive of others. It's about giving from a place of abundance rather than depletion. When we take care of ourselves, we can offer genuine support without the risk of burning out. So, cultivate kindness that nourishes both you and those you care about. Remember, it's not selfish to set boundaries. It's essential for a balanced and fulfilling life. Recognize that true kindness thrives when it's reciprocal, allowing both parties to grow and flourish together. In the realm of kindness, the expectation of reciprocity can be a double-edged sword. When we extend our kindness, we often hope for something in return, whether it's gratitude, acknowledgement, or support. However, this expectation can lead to disappointment and resentment. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us that we should focus on our actions, not the outcomes. When we give kindness with the mindset of receiving something back, we are setting ourselves up for emotional turmoil. Imagine planting a tree. If we only water it with the hope of immediate fruit, we may forget that growth takes time. True kindness is a selfless act, much like nurturing that tree. It flourishes not because we expect a harvest, but because we understand the value of the care we give. When we detach our kindness from expectations, we cultivate emotional resilience. This shift in perspective allows us to give freely, enriching our lives and the lives of others, ultimately creating a deeper, more authentic connection without the burden of expectations weighing us down. Imagine planting a tree. You dig a hole, carefully place the sapling within, and nurture it with water and sunlight. You tend to it daily, but what if that tree doesn't grow the way you envisioned? It may blossom in ways you never expected, or it might not flourish at all. This metaphor encapsulates the essence of kindness without the expectation of reciprocity. When we give kindness freely, we must understand that the outcomes are often unpredictable. Just like that tree, our acts of kindness can yield unexpected results. Some might flourish and create a beautiful forest of connections, while others may struggle to take root. This unpredictability can be disheartening, especially when we've invested time and energy into nurturing those around us. However, true kindness is about the act itself, not the anticipated return. Embracing this philosophy allows us to cultivate emotional resilience. We learn to appreciate the beauty of giving without strings attached, focusing on the joy we bring to others rather than fixating on what we may receive in return. By detaching from expectations, we foster a deeper sense of satisfaction in our actions, enriching not only the lives of others, but our own as well. This shift in perspective transforms kindness from a transactional exchange into a genuine expression of goodwill, reminding us that sometimes the most profound growth comes from simply letting go of the outcome and trusting the process. Embracing true kindness requires us to detach from the expectations of reciprocity. When we give kindness freely, we create a space for emotional resilience. This detachment is not about becoming indifferent. Rather, it's about understanding the nature of giving without strings attached. Imagine yourself planting a tree. You nurture it, provide water, and ensure it has sunlight, but you cannot control how tall it grows or when it will bear fruit. Similarly, acts of kindness may not always yield immediate or visible results. When we focus on the act of giving itself, we cultivate a deeper connection to our own values and intentions. This is where the essence of kindness transforms from a transactional exchange to a profound act of generosity. By practicing this form of giving, we enrich our own lives and those of others, fostering genuine relationships that thrive on mutual respect rather than obligation. Embrace the idea that true kindness flourishes in the absence of expectation, creating a cycle of positivity that benefits everyone involved. In the realm of kindness, one often overlooks the vital need for boundaries. Imagine a mother who dedicates her life to her daughter, always prioritizing her needs over her own. At first, this seems noble. After all, what could be more virtuous than putting your child first? However, as time goes by, the mother starts to feel depleted. She sacrifices her own passions, friendships, and even her well-being to ensure her daughter is happy. This selfless act begins to morph into a cycle of resentment. The daughter, initially appreciative, starts taking her mother's kindness for granted, expecting it as a given. The mother, feeling unrecognized and undervalued, eventually reaches a breaking point, leading to a confrontation that could have been avoided. This story illustrates a critical lesson. Kindness without boundaries can lead to emotional exhaustion and strained relationships. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It is essential for maintaining one's spirit while still being able to support loved ones. It ensures that kindness can flourish sustainably, allowing both individuals to thrive. Marcus Aurelius, the eminent Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of self-reliance and personal responsibility. In the realm of kindness, this notion becomes crucial. When we extend kindness to others, we often feel compelled to overreach, thinking we must bear their burdens. However, true support doesn't mean depleting our own resources. By encouraging others to grow independently, we foster their resilience and strength. This aligns with Stoic principles, which advocate for a balanced approach to life. It's essential to recognize that kindness should not be synonymous with sacrifice. Instead, when we set clear boundaries, we allow ourselves to be supportive without losing our essence. This self-reliance empowers both us and those we assist. It cultivates an environment where everyone can thrive, reminding us that we are not responsible for others' happiness, but can contribute positively when we ourselves are grounded. In doing so, we not only uplift ourselves, but also create a space for genuine growth and mutual respect in our relationships. One of the core principles of Stoicism is the importance of valuing oneself. As we navigate our relationships, it's crucial to recognize the difference between genuine connections and those that are merely transactional. True kindness is rooted in mutual respect and understanding, not in obligation or expectation. When we prioritize our well-being, we empower ourselves to engage in relationships that uplift us rather than drain us. This means acknowledging our worth and being discerning about who we invest our time and energy in. Genuine connections will naturally foster an environment of reciprocal kindness, where both parties feel valued and supported. Remember, it's not about keeping score, but about creating bonds based on respect and shared values. By focusing on this principle, we can cultivate a network of relationships that enrich our lives and align with our true selves, allowing kindness to flow naturally without compromising our dignity or self-respect. When we continuously say yes to others, we may inadvertently project an image of weakness or fragility. This phenomenon is often rooted in the desire to be liked or to avoid conflict, but it can lead to a significant erosion of self-respect. Imagine being that person who always accommodates, always puts others' needs first. While it might seem virtuous, this behavior often results in a lack of respect from others, who may see you as someone who cannot stand firm. Cicero wisely noted that our perception of ourselves shapes how others perceive us. When we fail to assert ourselves, we risk being viewed as overly accommodating or even desperate for approval. This ongoing cycle diminishes our self-esteem and can create resentment, which ultimately harms our relationships. Setting boundaries is not just about protecting ourselves. It's about fostering mutual respect in our interactions. By learning to say no when necessary, we reclaim our power and redefine how others see us. The act of saying no can be transformative, allowing us to establish a sense of strength that enhances our dignity and self-worth. It encourages others to respect our time and efforts, leading to healthier, more balanced relationships. In essence, embracing the power of no can be liberating, reshaping our interactions and reinforcing our identity as confident individuals who value themselves as much as we value others. Cicero once said, "The greatest force in the universe is a human being living consistently with his identity." This insight resonates deeply when we consider the perception of fragility that can arise from an unyielding yes to everyone around us. When we constantly acquiesce to the demands of others, we risk being perceived not as kind-hearted, but as weak or overly accommodating. This behavior can diminish our own self-respect and lead to feelings of resentment, ultimately weakening the very connections we aim to nurture. By setting clear boundaries, we redefine how we are viewed by others and, more importantly, how we view ourselves. Establishing boundaries is not an act of selfishness. Rather, it's a declaration of self-worth. Cicero reminds us that to respect oneself is to earn respect from others. When we learn to say no at times, we take control of our narrative, asserting that our time and energy are valuable. This empowers us to foster relationships built on mutual respect rather than obligation. When we shift our approach, we create space for authentic connections and interactions that thrive on genuine support, not mere transactions. So, as you navigate your relationships, remember that setting boundaries can transform not only your perception, but also the dynamics around you, leading to healthier, more respectful connections that honor both your needs and those of others. Saying no is not just a refusal, it's a powerful affirmation of your own value and boundaries. When we embrace the ability to say no, we take control of our lives and redefine our relationships. By setting boundaries, we create an environment where respect can flourish. This transformation is crucial. It shifts the perception of us from being overly accommodating to someone who values their own time and energy. Cicero once pointed out that self-respect is integral to fostering healthy relationships. When we say no to unreasonable demands, we signal to others that we are not weak, but rather strong in our convictions. This strength can reshape dynamics, allowing for deeper, more genuine connections. Remember, the power of no is not about shutting people out. It's about opening the door to more meaningful interactions. Embrace this transformative power, and watch how your relationships evolve into spaces of mutual respect and understanding. Let's dive into the first strategy for practicing balanced kindness: eliminating the fear of saying no. In a world that often pressures us to be endlessly accommodating, it's vital to remember that saying no is not a betrayal of kindness. Rather, it's an act of self-respect and self-care. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control, and our responses are indeed within that realm. By redefining our boundaries, we reclaim our time and energy, allowing us to be more genuine in our interactions. When we say no to demands that drain us, we create space for true kindness. It's essential to understand that setting these boundaries doesn't diminish our ability to help others. Instead, it enhances our capacity to offer authentic support. Think of it as a protective shield, ensuring that when you do engage in acts of kindness, it comes from a place of abundance rather than obligation. So practice saying no without guilt, and watch how it transforms your relationships and your own well-being. In our journey of kindness, one of the most vital strategies is to pay attention to our feelings. Mindfulness is the key here. By tuning into our emotional state, we can discern when our kindness is genuine and when it is driven by obligation or guilt. Practicing mindfulness allows us to check in with ourselves regularly, creating a space for self-reflection. Are we giving from a place of abundance, or are we depleting ourselves to meet others' needs? This awareness is crucial as it helps us maintain our emotional well-being while still being generous. When we understand our feelings, we can respond to others thoughtfully rather than reactively. This not only protects our mental health, but also enhances the quality of our kindness. Rather than being a drain, our kindness can become a source of joy and connection. So let's commit to this practice of mindfulness, ensuring that our acts of kindness enrich us as much as they do those around us. In our journey towards balanced kindness, one pivotal strategy is to prioritize ourselves. This may seem counterintuitive, especially in a world that often glorifies selflessness. However, true kindness cannot flourish without self-care. When we make ourselves a priority, we cultivate the emotional and mental resources needed to genuinely support others. Think of it like the safety instructions on an airplane. You must put on your own oxygen mask before assisting others. This principle resonates deeply with Stoic philosophy, which advocates for self-reliance and understanding one's own worth. By prioritizing our needs, we not only enhance our well-being, but we also model healthy behavior for those around us. This means setting aside time for self-reflection, indulging in activities that nourish our spirit, and acknowledging our limits. When we take care of ourselves first, we are better equipped to extend kindness that is authentic and impactful rather than depleting. Remember, self-care is not selfish. It's a vital component of living a fulfilling life where kindness thrives. In our journey towards balanced kindness, one crucial step is to discern between takers and genuine supporters. This requires a keen awareness of the dynamics in our relationships. Takers are those who consistently seek our kindness without reciprocating, draining our energy and resources. On the other hand, genuine supporters uplift us, offering their kindness and support in return. To identify these individuals, we must pay attention to our feelings when we interact with them. Do we feel energized after spending time together, or do we feel depleted? Ask yourself, are these people enriching my life, or are they simply taking without giving back? By cultivating a mindset rooted in self-awareness and gratitude, we can attract and nurture relationships that foster mutual respect and growth. Remember, it's not just about being kind. It's about surrounding ourselves with people who honor and reciprocate that kindness, creating a balanced, fulfilling environment for everyone involved. As we wrap up our exploration into the complex relationship between kindness and self-care, it's essential to recognize that true kindness doesn't come at the expense of our own well-being. We've discussed how overextending ourselves can lead to burnout, the pitfalls of expecting reciprocity, and the importance of setting boundaries. Each of these lessons reminds us that being kind should not mean sacrificing our own dignity or self-respect. By practicing balanced kindness, we can enrich our lives and the lives of others. Remember, saying no when necessary is not a failure. It is an act of self-love. Reflect on your own experiences. How have your boundaries shaped your relationships? I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue this conversation about kindness and self-care together, and find a harmonious balance that allows us to thrive while uplifting those around us.